regarding the COVID-19 pandemic were about 3, but I will try to answer to them according to my own experience. The first is, does this apply to all public university and higher education program in Cameroon? How do Cameroon public university embrace e-learning and digitalization in the context of COVID-19 pandemic? And to what may be considered in the COVID-19 pandemic context as the new normal? How do public university in Cameroon to adapt to digital technologies? So, to answer to those preliminary questions and exploratory research, we have attempted to examine key points. One key point: actions carried out by public university administration as well as lecturers and student reaction in relation to this. Consider that major policy reference we mentioned earlier. And after our preliminary inquiries, what we've realized is that there have been rapid policy changes to in a situation where there was like, okay, not real engagement regarding the digital technologies. There have been rapid policy changes, prompt adaptation, but also reluctance or absence. Rapid development of public measures. This has been observed through the diverse public meetings organized to try to find out solutions to the context. There has also been design of e-learning platform within university website and for registered students. But while some of them are really functional from a direct internet access, others are not yet functional, but they are visible on the university website, what is already quite good. The third point is the mobilization.
Remaining.
Yes, the third point is the mobilization of virtual platforms such as radio for teaching purpose for level 1 and 2 students, and intense use of WhatsApp group to share courses and other educative digital contents. Another point is the organization of video conference for e-defense. However, in schools such as ERIC, the above initiatives are still limited to private master program, which most of them are engaged in international cooperation with other university partners. In this particular case, we also observed that while some lecturers and teachers seem already familiar to professional discussion with their students using digital platform, others seem in a total process of adaptation. Some categories, though used to the utilization of digital technology to share professional contents of all kinds, find it difficult to adapt themselves to digital approach to teaching and group interaction within a fixed hour period. But what has been surprising is definitely the capacity. In line with the absence, we have noticed that other public programs offered by the school here in ERIC have been totally interrupted. Planning a resume only in June 1st, 2020 as announced by the government. Regarding the strengths and challenges, the last point, in public universities such as the University of Yaoundé 2, students from level 3 to 5 are happy with the initiative for the low cost in terms of access constraint. I'll come back to it maybe through question, constraint and online availability of completed courses program. For my own online experience, teaching online experience using WhatsApp group in a specific program at the I found the process more demanding. Any written material should be very precise. Imagination works much more. I had to learn to use my phone devices, get to platform on time, and keep students alert for at least 4 hours. So, but beyond this, we have noticed problem of access, some lecturers to digital technology, and the inability to share written courses within the interval 20 hours. So maybe I can come back to way forward later. But I think COVID-19 pandemic has been a great opportunity to explore free online platform, digitalize, think about digitalizing library contents and acquire, learn, and try to learn to use library databases. And regarding the time constraint, I think I can end here and come back to discussion later. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Mireille. I think it's great work that you've been able to
start your research on actually how the COVID crisis is affecting the implementation of plans already there. For your students, we spoke before today, and you're running an entire course on WhatsApp. Are all your students able to join that course, for instance? What are some of the, you can talk a little bit more on problems of access. And then Michael has a question as well. Yeah.
Yes, I can say if WhatsApp was the solution in that particular case, because this was the cheaper digital technologies available to students, and has a virtual platform. It was also the best alternative for the school that haven't got a more modernized platform. The problem of access, what is interesting here is that the problem of access was not only linked to internet, it was also linked to energy provision, electricity, as there have been many shortage, cutting lights, things like that have been prevented some students to be present at times and attend the course normally. Even me, I've been victim of that electricity shortage. So I think what is interesting here is maybe regarding the digital technologies, it's close relationship with the use of energy, electricity, energy, which is also a challenge here in Africa, in Cameroon, in a particular environment. That's why I really focus on the problem of access, and I think this can be the contribution to the debate, think about linking the both.
Excellent, thank you. Michael had a question.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. When I was going through your slide, I was happy to note that since 2016, Cameroon have been kind of getting prepared for such a pandemic. And but I want to ask a question from the universities. Have the universities done enough to digitalize the system? Like, can the students get access to the academic result transcript through the university website? Also, the university, do they have like functioning Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi for the students? Because it's definitely have to start from the universities if they want to go digital. And secondly, the use of radio, like you said, level 3 to 4, they make use of radio.
1 to 2, yes.
Considering the fact that radio broadcast is limited to the view of only the presenter, do you think like is a very good means of lecturing the students? So this might
also, I think, regarding the process of adaptation here. And the question about the radio courses on radio, these are reserved to level 1 and 2 students, university. And why radio course? First of all, taking a look at the I don't know how you call effective numbers of students. There are thousands at university. This is a point I needed to mention. There are thousands, almost 2,000, 2005 in level 1 and 2. So it was difficult, according to exchanges I had with administrative staff, is that it's difficult to interact in using a platform to interact with 2,000 students at once, managing questions on virtual platforms. So they just prefer a presenter, a lecturer to present the course, and maybe get 2 or 3 questions from the public, intervening directly through the radio. And regarding also the case of WhatsApp groups, we observe that these are the kind of platform used only in small programs of 40 to 45 students, where it's more easier, though it takes like 4 hours, it's more easier for one side or the other side, lecturers and students, to interact and have more close discussions. So it all depends. And I think that from that particular point of view, there is a question of leadership. Who is managing? What's the relationship of the manager or main actor to the technologies themselves? It's very, very important.
Thank you very much, Mireille, and also for shedding light on what is happening right now. That's very current research we get to take part of there. At this point, I wanted to hand over to Ms. Dumas Limini of the Association of African Universities. Ndoma, I think you have your video off, if it's possible to turn it on so we can see you. Yes, there you are. So Ndoma, she is the Director of ICT Services and Knowledge Management at the AAU, and therefore has a very particular vantage point to speak both from her organizational. Give you 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much, Kaisa. Thank you to the speakers that have spoken ahead of me. And as a discussant, I will comment concerning inclusivity. I think inclusivity is something that we have learned or has been emphasized through COVID-19. The fact that there are diverse groups of students and people that need to be taken into consideration. And the biggest challenge, as has been said, is the broad infrastructure issues that really lead to challenges with equity and access. And when we look at some of these broad infrastructure issues, we need to remember that we must look at them at a campus level. If the campus infrastructure is weak, then that campus infrastructure cannot support students and faculty remotely. And also there's national to reach the rural areas during COVID-19 challenges.
Could you turn off your video to make the sound more stable?
Okay,
thanks.
let me do that. Let me do that. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah. Let me stop my share. Okay. Yes, yeah.
Can see it.
Yeah. So the infrastructure issues need to be looked at a campus level, at a national level, and also regional infrastructure level. And these feed into each other, just the urban areas in terms of connectivity. For universities in Africa, we have what is called National Research and Education Networks. The challenge is that they are not at the same level in terms of maturity. But these institutions are the ones that are supposed to act as internet providers for educational and research institutions. So what we've seen during COVID-19 is that there have been negotiations that universities have been making with telecommunications companies to be able to address issues of connectivity for their students. The presentation on partnerships on a shoestring was very good, especially in relation to that funding has been prioritized to address health and other more urgent needs. And it seems like education issues will not be priority for some time until we fixed this COVID. So as the Association of African Universities, we have focused our partnership strategy on advocacy and facilitation and providing expert advice to universities and helping them to verify providers, speaking to some of the suppliers for consortium deals that the universities could access. And we've also been doing a lot of capacity building through webinars. We are also learning that mother is the necessity of innovations. I think for a long time we've been trying to push universities to progress the digitization of their teaching, learning, and research, and we thought they were not moving fast enough. We also thought maybe it's a leadership issue. We needed more charismatic leaders to be able to move this agenda, but COVID has taught us that when there's a need, people or institutions are likely to listen. But we are seeing our universities in Africa not so prepared, especially in terms of handling emergency responses. We ran a survey with the universities, and they told us that the biggest challenge was responding fast enough so that they don't lose time. And we saw, however, that they handled international students very well. And we also learned that some universities said they would be teaching fully. The majority said they would be teaching partially, and there was quite a big number which said we've closed and we are not teaching. The tools that universities are using, as the last presenter said, they are using email, they are using WhatsApp, they are using Google Classrooms, they are using Zoom. And in terms of content, even though there's content out there from edX, Coursera, and the like, our universities are not yet using that. So we are trying to find a way to get them to look at that content and select what could be useful for them. But we know, of course, that academics sometimes resist using content that has been developed by other people. Learning management systems are there. The challenge with them is that the universities had not institutionalized them. So they are having to revisit their institutional policies, which says the use of the learning management system is compulsory, and most of them are using Moodle. We also see
remaining.
Yeah, thank you. We also see a great need, or rather our universities have been supporting their communities, developing or manufacturing face masks or manufacturing hand sanitizers. In terms of high-level research to find a cure, we find that there are a few universities involved. Most of them are delegating their staff to participate in national initiatives. So in conclusion, I think we agree that infrastructure is a big issue. Institutionalization of online education is important. Even when COVID goes, we need to have blended approaches to teaching and learning. We think our universities should consider sharing infrastructure on the cloud in order to reduce costs so that they don't all do their own small things. Training, I think, is very important, and our curricula has been challenged. It must be skills focused. The way that we examine must be different. We must have different ways of assessing whether learning has happened. And then offline learning solutions are also becoming very important. Radio, TV, podcasts, sending materials to students that have no connectivity. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ndumu, for kind of summarizing this conversation. I don't see that anyone has a direct question to you. Maybe your role was more of a discussant. And I think we'll come back to some of these issues in our discussion a bit later. Now we're gonna move to break and we'll return 10 past the hour. In Sweden it's 12:10. And I'll stay on here if anyone wants to chat, but I encourage all of you to stretch and do what you need to do to be refreshed back here to the hour. So see you soon.
Happy and excited to be here. Can you now understand my accent? Yes. Okay. I'm Susan Balabatumwewaze from Uganda. I lecture in Makerere University, specifically biometrics, which is called applied statistics for biologists, for environmentalists, doctors, mention it, any science. We are going to conduct a course called Scientific Data Management Skill Enhancement Training for Postgraduate. We are two with Vincent Oweba. He's from Kenya, but he delayed a bit, so he will come maybe today afternoon or tomorrow morning. So we'll have a balance between female and male. I do not have a lot to say because I'm really going to be talking the whole of today. But I'll first of all let my colleague, the reporter, talk about herself. Thank you so much, and feel at ease. It's not really math and statistics, so we are going to apply the principles of mathematics into research. Okay, thank you. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sarah Kele, Simo University. I also work for the Center of Excellency in plant breeding and biotechnology. My training is forestry, but my PhD was in agriculture and renovations. Anything to do with social research, we could properly engage. She was one of my key people. Take advantage of this. It's you to lose. Thank you very much.
Okay. Pastor, priest, who is ready to thank you? Okay. Then, you know, after lunch, what happens is the blood flows to the stomach and starts helping in digestion. So you tend to start nodding, using the head, but not really picking what is happening. So we need to have somebody in charge of energizing us, so that when that process happens, okay, are you okay with that? He says no. You're volunteering. There's no gender balance. Okay, thank you. Please. Is that all? Is that all we need for that day? One more. Somebody to collect evaluation for it so that we know whether we are doing a good job or we are boring you. We need to improve practicals, add more work. Okay. Anything else? I've been bringing everything, you know, suggesting. But you can come up with anything. Okay. So, we've set the ground rules, we put people in charge, and the person who is doing energizing will be in charge of people who come late and punishment, those who break rules. Okay? That particular person will be in charge of punishing those who break the rules. Okay? Okay, thank you. Okay. Take questionnaires to get to know your training needs, and I've summarized them. So before I give you the results for the training needs assessment, we are going to look at the course objectives, we'll look at the expectations. But before I do that, there's one thing I want us to do. Give me your expectations first. Because if I tell you what I want to do, you might tell me the same thing. So can we go through one exercise? Expectations. What do you expect from this course? Then from those, then we marry them and make a beautiful course. So I'm going to give 2 small cards. You can write your expectation. Okay, thank you. So write your expectation. Write your expectation. If you can fit 2 on each card, it's okay, but a maximum of 3 expectation. What do you expect to achieve from this course, scientific data management? How do you want it to be organized? You know, the schedule. Is the program too, populated? Okay, so that's what I want you to do. Then when we finish, I'll give you what the course objectives and expectations are. Then after that, we'll see whether we still have time and start on straight. Now, when we look at the program, we realize we've abbreviated the program. We've written SB and VO. SB stands for Susan Balaba. VO is Vincent Oweba. So within the program, when you get the printed output, I'll cover the bits where there's SB until VO comes in. When VO comes, he's likely to come today or tomorrow morning. He will start with those bits where his name is attached, okay? But in the event that he doesn't come, I will be able to cover everything. So don't worry that because VO hasn't come, then we are going to lose. No, we will be able to get everything on the program. So long as we can pick. Because statistics, applied statistics, is about what you understand. How can you apply it to the data? The other thing is we need to leave this place when we are more confident in handling data management and analysis and reporting than we came in. So we move at your pace. If you're moving slow, we move slow. If you move faster, we move faster. Okay? Thank you. Objectives are to equip students with statistical knowledge in design, analysis, and result interpretation of surveys, stock experiments applied to agriculture. The next objective is to strengthen the ability of students to manage complex data, analyze using statistical software, and interpret results objectively. The third one is to impart skills to manage every component of their thesis in order to complete studies within the specified time frame. The fourth one is to enhance your skills to produce manuscript for publication that contains sound statistical facts. Expected outcomes. By the end of this course, we hope that we will enhance the understanding on the fundamental concepts behind the context of developing countries.